Hey everyone, it's Melissa with Build a Better Bakery. So excited to see you here today. Let me get set up here to make sure that we are all good. Last time I had kind of a wild hair going on, so it doesn't happen again today. Let me just get this set up. Cool. All is good. Hopefully I'll be able to see everyone's comments today. If you would like to chat about our topic, which is, do bakers need an email list? Now, this is something that I actually just got asked recently about this, and I wanted to share it with you today. So that's why we're going to talk about it. This is our hashtag Thursday Fave session that happens pretty much every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here in the Bakery Business School group on Facebook. If you are seeing this on the replay, go ahead and throw up your hashtag replay. I did want to let you know that you can always check the events here in the group to mark yourself as going. You can send me a friend request on the platform that will allow me to accept it and invite you to these events when I make them. You can also stick on that email list, which you can get on our website. I can send that link to you if you want to grab the little entrance into the weekly update email that I send out that has the replays to these videos. So if you're a type of person that doesn't like to be live or can't make it live, I always send out replays as often as I possibly can so that you can get the content and watch the content on your own timeline. So being on the email list is where you're going to get that. Now, as I mentioned, a question that I often get very simply is, if I'm a baker, do I really need an email list? You know, it's kind of one of those, I already have a lot going on. I'm already really busy. Maybe I don't love being on the computer. A lot of us are, we like to work with our hands. Totally get that. I'm on that page with you. And I think just as handmade artists, right, as kind of a sort of person that a lot of us tend to be when we're in the kitchen baking, we might think that email is kind of more of like a corporate type thing. Maybe you feel like it's not for you or it doesn't work for baking, but I'll tell you it is for everybody. And I'll lay out 3 considerations today of why it really is important, and it's actually going to save you time and make you more sales later because of the way that email works. And realistically, it is actually, if you think about it, one of the most intimate forms of staying in touch with somebody. Remember when we used to get a lot of written letters? Your email inbox, yes, there's going to be a lot of, just like when you open your mailbox today, you get stuff from Burger King and you get stuff from people trying to get you to donate to them. And, it might seem like junk mail sometimes, but other times you're getting important letters that you actually want to read. And same with email, it's a more intimate setting than something like social media where you're kind of just hoping someone sees the information, but it's not landing in their actual inbox, which is really important. So what I would hope for you as a baker is that you can attract a client through your products. And then after the sale is completed or before they decide to make the sale, you can collect their contact information so that you can continue to work with them or continue to show them products and sales later when it might work better for them to purchase, rather than simply hoping that they see you at the next event or they see your post on social media. I would hope that you can collect that information so that you as the business owner can do the work of staying in touch with them, rather than hoping that the client is going to stay in touch with you, which is kind of a lot to ask from a client. It's kind of our job as the business owner. So why not be able to hand them the flyer for the next sale, show them what you've got going on next month, invite them to your classes, invite them to your shop, all of that. You could do that yourself via an email. And it's, as far as marketing goes, it's actually quite inexpensive to be that intimately connected with people and being able to send them things directly to their inbox. Hey, Kat, good to see you. Hey, Sarah. Awesome. Glad you all are here for this. Now, let me know in the comments, do you already send out emails for your baking business purposes? If you do, who is the provider that you use? Let me know who the provider is. Also, throw up a hashtag live if you're here live, if you haven't already, which a lot of you have. So thank you for doing that. It lets me know that you're here and listening and hanging out. So my short answer to this question, before we get into the 3 important considerations, is yes, right? My answer before we go through all this is going to be yes, you should have an email service. Is it something extra that you have to do for your business? Yes, but it's very important. I'm going to lay out why. It is highly effective in conversions and customer retention. It's a customer retention tool, if you think about it, that it should not be discounted for a moment. So even though we get a lot of emails, even though we get spam emails and all that, sometimes a lot of people don't want to be on social media. That's one of the ways that we're using, trying to get the word out about what we're doing. So this might actually work well for those type of clients, not everybody, but for those people who enjoy receiving emails, reminder emails, informational emails. Those are the type of people who are going to want to be on this list. And it's something accessible for most people here in this group because there are comprehensive services available. So you don't have to be super techie. You don't have to write computer code. You don't have to set up a template. There's a lot of things already done for you in a comprehensive service, and they're available right now. At the end, I'll tell you exactly what I do, who I use, and why I use them. I will let you know who I've used before that I did not like. Okay, just to give you, it's my personal experience, obviously, but just to give you an idea of what I've done over the years. And after you get it set up, which is something I walk the elites through in the elite program, once you get a service set up, it's going to save you a ton of time. Number one, because you can automate almost all of it. So it's actually set up and it's creating the customer retention for you while you're off doing your baking. Okay. So it can save you a ton of time and it makes your business look like $1 million. Like if you are able to stay in contact with people, deliver them the information that they asked for, think about how much easier it is for someone to send you the money for a thing, right? If you're telling them exactly what's going on, they're getting the information they need automatically through your service. And what you're doing is you're just filling the orders. You're just being the baker in a sense, and you're letting the tool do the work of staying in contact with people. So as I mentioned, one of my dear elite bakers, super sweet lady, she was asking me if she should have an email service provider on our private call the other day. And I thought y'all might want to know a little bit about what we talked about. So that's what we're going to do today. Those 3 considerations. Okay. And then at the end, I'm also going to offer you something that I got when I started email years and years ago. It's still available now. So I'm willing to give that to you. That helped me get started. I have 2 separate businesses. So I actually have 2 different accounts and I used it for both of them. So it's been really helpful for me. I'm sure it can help you too if you want to get started. Okay, consideration number 1. And I want you to kind of think outside the box for a moment here. You own your email list information. So when somebody physically gives you their email information, written, through email, whatever it is, through text message, they're handing you that contact information and now you own that information. Nobody can take it from you, right? They basically gave it to you for whatever reason. You do not own your social media account. That's where we do a lot of this. We want to get followers, we want to get likes, we want to get all of this, but that could be gone tomorrow. Those platforms could shut down. Those platforms could be broken up. You could get locked out of your account. There's lots of things that could go wrong with that. I'm not saying not to be on social media because it does make sales for us. So please don't take that as the message here, but I want you to know that you don't own it. So there are, that's, kind of weighs the scales pretty heavily to get some contact information for customer retention that you actually own. So think of email just like collecting a notebook of contacts, before computers and all that were a thing. If you guys are around my age, you might remember you would have like a notebook of contacts, of phone numbers, of ways to stay in touch with people. And with an email service provider, you can literally download a spreadsheet of contact information. And it will save other information too. If you want to make notes about the clients, if you want to include other things about them, depending on your provider, it will hold that as well. When did they join the list? How did they join the list? How many emails are they opening? What things are they clicking on? You can really start to see like, oh, how can I better serve these people, this specific person or these people in a group? And you have all that info, all that data. So it's really important if you're looking at, how can I automate this type of marketing to help me out so I don't have to spend all my time on social media, so I don't have to do all these other things that take my physical time. How can I automate it through this service. So as long as Google and email service is a thing, I don't see that going away anytime soon. You will have these contact points for good. All right. Consideration number 2 is email is a much more intimate situation than social media. And I mentioned that earlier. So your email, if you think about it, like your physical letterbox, it's the digital one. Yes, you probably get a lot of emails if you sign up for a lot of stuff. But what you can do is unsubscribe, right? And you can start getting only the emails that you really care about. And that means that it can be a lot more impactful and create those raving fans that you need and want for your business. Because when you send that message out via email, it's landing in front of their face, right? If the email is successful, which you can see from, if you use a service provider, you can see how many emails bounced, how many didn't make it, how many of the email accounts were typed incorrectly, etc. If most of those emails arrived, that means you have digitally handed them information. That's different than social media. With social media, you throw something up and you just hope people see it. You hope that the algorithm is going to be nice to you today. You hope that something else isn't happening that's taking up a lot of the visual space, etc. So it's just a different way of sending information, but it can be more impactful because of the way that they're receiving it. The other nice thing about a service provider for your email is that you can literally, there are lots of ways to personalize this, even though it's automated, but you can literally address each and every person with their first name, right? The sound that everybody loves to hear is their name. You can address these emails using their name automatically and other details about them automatically to make them even more impactful and even more specific. And that can also go pretty far when we're talking about marketing to someone and making it very personal for them. So when someone chooses to be on your email list, they are giving you a strong signal that they want to keep in touch. That's beautiful and wonderful. And honestly, there are quite a few times where people will ask me for that information. Thankfully, I already have the email set up so I can give it to them. If someone asks you for a business card, why not just tell them to join your email list? If they ask you for, I'm going to like your page on Facebook. Yes. Also join my email list so I can send you the pre-sales every month, right? Like you can steer them over there so that they get the most relevant information from you. They can also do all of it, right? They can join the list, they can like the page, they can take your business card, all of that. But what you're doing when you get them on the email list is you're actually capturing their information to own it so that you can continue to converse with them no matter what happens outside, with social media and such, and they might lose your business card, right? So you want to do the work of capturing the information. And if they're doing that short step to get closer to you, to follow up with you, to be in contact, you better make sure that happens, right? You better make sure you're using that as momentum to continue to try to get them integrated into how you do what you do and work with you on a consistent basis. And if taking that small step to get on your email list is not the beginning of brand loyalty, then I don't know what it is, right? Like them doing that is huge. So having that option for them makes it so much easier to build those raving fans because you're giving them an open door to come into your business and sit down and be a part of your world, right? Super important. Okay, Kat says, we added an option to our surveys asking people if they want to be added to our email list. Most checked yes. Now we just need to work on content and consistency. Yes. So she is asked and they said yes. And that's like, sometimes we don't, I feel like even me, before I had an email service provider, I kind of discounted it, but it's really sweet. Like it's really important and sweet and touching that a client would want that type of information, that type of regular contact with you. The other thing to consider is that every time you attract a client, it takes so much work, right? It's usually in the industry, right? It's about 7 times as much work to get the first sale than sales afterwards. So if you've done all of that work to get that person interested just to get on the email list, it's going to be much easier to sell to them. So, if they want to be a part of your world, they want to be buying things from you, being in that position is a really good situation for both of you because neither of you has to do a ton of work after that. You just have to give them the information and then they make the choice to buy or not, right? There's not a lot of trying to get in contact and missing each other online and all of that. Kat said she's happy to be here and we're looking for a good provider. At the end, I'm gonna give you, if you don't take the deal from these people that I'm about to mention, I'd be surprised. You might not love them like I do, but they're honestly, when I look at the other service providers, I'm like confused why anyone goes with anyone else. But I'm going to give you some information, Kat, and you look at them and tell me what you think, because they are, it's an awesome business and they have a really good deal. So let me show you that later. They've been using Gmail and it's awful. Yes, awful because it's not a provider, right? They're not consolidating tools to help you stay automated. Gmail's not automated at all. You know, you can't schedule an email to go out at 8 a.m. next week. You can't tag people with their names. You can't make segments of groups of people. What I've noticed actually is that having the ability for people to unsubscribe on their own is huge, because unsubscribing, people do it for a lot of reasons, right? It doesn't always have to be about you. People move, people are on diets, people, you know, there's lots of things. It's not always because you aren't giving them what they ask for. It's just they no longer need the information at the moment, right? So don't take it too hard when people unsubscribe, but having them do it themselves, that saves a ton of time and heartache. They can just unsubscribe behind the scenes. That's all fine and good. You don't have to search through like a Gmail list of email accounts. Oh my gosh. I did that up until like 100 people and it was breaking my brain. Okay. So if you can skip that stuff altogether, that's probably best. Hey, Tina, good to see you. Good to know. We're working on multiple businesses too, so this would be valuable info. Yeah. So Flowdesk is the business that I'm going to talk about at the end, which is just the one I'm using now. I'm not going to call it a downside because of the way they set it up, but you can only have one account per account, if that makes sense, like one email. So I have two separate ones because I have two separate businesses. So it's probably how you'd have to set yours up as well, depending on how you want to do it, or maybe start with one and see how you like that, and then set up the other one again with the same referral code that I'm going to give you so that you can save on both. And then it'll be like, you know, you get 2 for 1 essentially at that point. That's how I do it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go on to number 3, consideration number 3. Although adding email, yes, it is another step. It's another thing to do. It's another thing to get set up. You're working towards great customer retention. So if you think about all of the work that you're doing to try to attract people, what you're doing then when you set up your email is you're setting up the very next step, which is to capture them and keep them. So if you do one sale and they leave, one sale and they leave, one sale and they leave, you have to do all the work to find them again. So I hope I'm hitting this home. The email captures them. So once you sell or once they're attracted, they're in with you. As long as they want to stay in, they're in. You don't have to go search for them again. So it helps you create an audience, and it helps you create a world around your product with your audience included, which is very important. And it doesn't have to be a headache if you can find a provider that you vibe with. There are a number of them out there. They have different price points, different like comprehensive packages, depending on what you need. Some of them have free services for up to a certain number, but I will say that those that have the free services, I do not love them. I didn't even want to get on and work on things because I didn't like their platform. I didn't want to be on there. I didn't like the way things looked. It was confusing to make the templates, or even their templates that they had for me to use. I didn't like them. So yes, they start you out for free, but it's not good, if that makes sense. So kind of depends on your vibe, how you want to go about it. I like a provider that wants to make it simple and fun. Like that's kind of how we do things. And I'm too old and I have too much going on to be confused, if that makes sense. Like I want things to be easy and efficient. So again, but you do have to pay for that sometimes. Now Flowdesk, which I'll mention at the end a little bit more about them. They do have, I believe, a 30-day free trial. So I think if you signed up with them, you would have 30 days to work on it and kind of try some emails out and then see what you thought. So they're very nice people, you know, when it comes to all that, quick customer service, all that good stuff. Okay. So as I mentioned, I love them. Flowdesk, that's who I use now. My mentors, they got me onto Flowdesk years ago. So they use them as well. They've got like, you know, $1 million business by now. and that's who they use. So I jumped on because, you know, I listened to my mentors, I guess, but I actually did like the platform. So I joined them. And the one I used before, you might like them. I'm not trying to like drag them through the mud here, but I used Mailchimp before that because they have the free, I think it's up to like 100 people or 500 contacts, or I forget what it is. They had a free option, but I didn't like being on there at all. I didn't like making the emails. It was painful for me. And I will say that one thing that Flowdesk does not do when you start looking at providers, Flowdesk does not charge you for subscribers. So I could have as many subscribers as I want, and I can send as many emails as I want. Other providers are going to charge you for the number of subscribers. As you move up, you pay more. And as you send more emails, you pay more. And that is really annoying, especially when you're growing your business and maybe you're getting a bunch of people to join your list, which is great, but now you owe more money for your email account. I don't know. That felt really gross to me. So I wanted to get out of that. Flowdesk doesn't do that. Like I said, they're very simple and efficient, so they don't mess with any of that. Now, if you're still a little confused, just to be very clear here, an email provider. So I know a lot of us use Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, that's an email platform, but they don't have a comprehensive program that you're signing up for, right? Most of them are free. They're not doing much for you as far as helping your business, brand your business, automate your emails, segment your clients, all that kind of stuff. So an email provider is a provider who does that, right? They have a comprehensive platform for you to join, and they will usually help you create more beautiful emails via templates that they have set up, or pieces that you can kind of pull and place in to make your emails look how you want them to look. And they have the option usually to send things automatically at certain times. So as an example, if you were to sign up for a workshop with me, you would give me your email account, your email address, and I would go into my Flowdesk account. I would make an email talking about the workshop that you're signing up for. I would automate it so that once you signed up, you get the email without me having to do anything. And then the day before the workshop, it automatically sends another email reminding you. So you can set it up to where you don't actually physically have to do any of that. You just have to tell people to sign up for a thing, and then the platform does all the work. Okay. It also will help you stay compliant with certain email guidelines, which you may not be aware of. And that just helps when you're sending larger groups of emails, helping people unsubscribe on their own, telling people usually if you're sending like bulk email, you just have to tell them where you live. So that could be your PO box, your home address, whatever you need. It just helps you stay compliant with email regulations that come up when you start sending more emails bulk. And then of course, helping you get your message directly in front of your ideal client. Just boom, just like that, right? Not kind of like up in the social media atmosphere. It's literally landing in their inbox. As Kat talked about, you'll definitely want a provider if you're interested in starting email services instead of just piecemealing something from Gmail or something similar. It is seriously the worst. I would not wish that on anybody. If you already have an account that has a bunch of emails that you're saving on Gmail, you can 100% copy and paste that into a file and upload it to your new provider. They will take that information and just integrate it. So you won't lose those email addresses. You can keep those, but it's going to make it a lot easier to deal with them. Okay. The other nice thing is you can send out automatic thank you emails when people join. That's a really important one. Something we cover in the elites when we talk about email is the cost of acquisition of an email address. How much does it usually cost? Usually that's via marketing. And how can you like counteract that by giving them freebies, gifts, reasons for them to join your email list? You can set that up to be automatic too. So it can be a really simple, quick way for them to get a first impression from you that's really good, and also helping them make the next purchase. For my local baking business and class business, my automatic thank you gift is a small coupon to use on their next purchase. So they have to buy something to use it. They have to actually click over to my website. So I'm getting more views on my website, and it just helps them use my business. For my online work here with you all, it's the gift is different. It's a compilation course of some popular content that bakers tend to like and use as they get started with their businesses. So it just attracts them to the email list. I'm attracting the people that want to work with me because of the gift, right? They're thinking, oh, that seems useful. And I would also like to talk to her every week to kind of see what she's doing. That's what, I lay all that out before they join. So it's not spammy, it's not weird. They know exactly why they're coming to the list and wanting that information. And yes, all automated. So I had to take the time to set it up, but after that, most of it's automated. Someone joins my list, they get the gift sent right over to them. And then I keep in touch with them weekly or bi-weekly, just depending on when I want to write emails. And it's the useful information that they signed up for. So it's nothing different than what I said it was going to be when they signed up. Once you get your steps set up, it works like a charm. It's very simple. There's usually not any problems with it as you're working through creating your email presence, how you want to be viewed by your clients. I cover how to get started and explain my favorite features right inside of the Elite training I mentioned. It's inside the Elite program. I cover it in there and just kind of show you the back end and what I like to do. I know a lot of other people use Flowdesk as well. It's something they have, obviously, a website and a platform that you can look through. So go check it out. I can send it's spelled Flowdesk. I can send a link to that later if you want to see what it is. Absolutely love them. Again, they're really interested in simplifying everything and making the emails gorgeous because people will want to click on them if they like reading them, if they like looking at them. They also help you with prompts and other things. So it's just kind of like, it's just nice, right? It feels nice. And I believe most of the people who work there are women. So they have more of that womanly touch when it comes to email. It's kind of a neat aspect. Now, again, before you sign up for them, please listen to this because I don't want you to have to pay hundreds of dollars more than you need to, all right? If you decide that you want to get started with email, let me know so I can send you the referral code because they have a referral code that literally takes 50% off of their annual payment. So that, like in the email industry, that's crazy. Like it's wild. I think they really just like referrals, and that's kind of their bread and butter. I think it makes them it makes their clients more interested, I guess, because it's other people who like them are telling other people, etc. And I'm pretty much probably going to be a lifetime client because of this, because I like getting the 50% off that my mentors gave me. And I also enjoy their annual plan because you save a ton of money. So if you do it that way, yeah, it's a little bit of an investment up front, but with the 50% off, you get to take a lot off of it. So something to consider. So please do not sign up. Do not sign up for the 30-day trial. Don't do any of that without the referral code, because if you sign up without it, I don't know that you can apply it later. Okay, so let me send it to you so you can click through, and then hopefully it'll be attached to your account. So if you do decide to actually sign up after the 30-day trial, that can be applied. I can send it via DM here. I can post it here after I'm off. It's also on my website. On the very bottom, it says partners. You can click on that and you can see all of the discounts and the things that are offered through the partners that I personally work with, things that they wanted to share with y'all. So that's why that section's up, so you can look through there. Additionally, if you want that step-by-step on how I use the program efficiently for both of the businesses, how are they different? What's the vibe with each of them? Realistically, I spend about an hour a week, maybe about an hour a week, setting up my emails for both of my businesses. That's not very much time. 30 minutes per entire business. I've got the templates set up. I'm literally just kind of like moving things in and out and sending them off because I know what people want to read, right? I've told them exactly the information they're going to get. And it's super simple to use the platform just to, resend emails that have the info already attached to them. Okay, and we also have other tips on our other favorite business building programs. So more than just Flowdesk as well. If you want to see the programs that myself and the other coaches use to run our businesses, you'll be able to see, okay, what planners are they using, what more information about Canva, and I can't think of all of them right now, but Honeybook, I think, and a couple other programs that just help us. We lay that information out for you too. So you can hop into the Elites if you'd like to join. during April to snag a membership of your choice, and know that the silver tier is on beta pricing for just a few more days to the end of the month. So I've got some beta pricing left. You're welcome to grab it through the end of April. And for less than the cost of about a dinner for two-ish, you can get your hands on the baking business content, including the Flowdesk information, and get support from us that can literally change your life like it's changed the lives of the other elites who come in and want their businesses to be better. That's what we help you with. We have a lot of information in there. We're running challenges to help you implement that information. Depending on the tier that you join, if you do gold or platinum, there's a weekly coaching session. You can come in, ask all your questions, hang out with me. We can just chat about business, get to know each other, and help you that way too. And if you wanted to join the highest tier, which is platinum, that comes with courses and paperwork and private coaching and all of the goodies that you might need if you really, really want to get started right away and you want to build your business really fast and efficiently, that's probably the best one to go with. So I'm here if you have any questions. Definitely get started with email if you want to stay in contact with your clients and have better customer retention and make more sales with less work, as the automation helps you stay in contact with everybody. Denise says, was setting up campaigns tricky? The chimp is a struggle. Yeah. don't like Mailchimp. No. Campaigns. So if you're talking about the templates for the emails, no, because the Flowdesk has like a huge list of templates. They're already set up with like shaped images and type fonts. I mean, I change all the type font to be my business type font, but it's essentially all set up with like a signature area, the unsubscribe button, the address. You can even, they're attached to Instagram. So if you use Instagram, you can add basically like a multi-image stream on the bottom. And so I have like what's on the gram or new on the gram or whatever. And then underneath of it is all the photos of what I put up on Instagram recently. So that helps you also get them over to your Instagram if that's something that you want to have in there. And a lot of them are just set up for you, and they're set up in ways that have the purpose of the email listed. So, you know, sending a free gift, staying in contact, asking a question, there's a ton of them. So normally I picked the one that worked for me for the information that I'm sending. I pick it and then I just put in my pictures and I put in my words and I change the type font to my business type font. And then I change the colors to my brand. You can save your brand colors just like in Canva. And I just change it to look like my stuff, put in my logo. And then the next week, if I want to send another email, I literally just make a copy of that email and I put in the information for that week. So I don't have to redo it every time, if that makes sense. You can also put your emails into folders. You can save templates. You can just make it, that's how I got it down to like an hour a week for both businesses, is I don't reinvent the wheel every time. I just put the information in a setup that works for each of those different businesses based on what people wanted to see, and send it off that way. Oh, setting up the automations. No, because it's called a workflow. I cover that in the elites, talking about what it is. And to not spend too much time talking about it today, it's essentially a system where you create a segment where people join that segment. And every time someone joins the segment, you set up a workflow and it's literally like a plus, you just set up a line of actions. So when they join the email list, they immediately get sent this email that you made that sends out the coupon or the free gift or whatever. And then maybe you put a timestamp that says wait 1 week, and then it sends out your menu, and then wait 1 week and it sends out a letter just asking them some questions, right? You can set up how you want to interact with them. So it's the time to make the emails, and then the time to just click the workflow to put the stuff in where you want it to go. If I have a class or something like that, the workflow is really simple because I just make the, hey, you're coming to class email. And then I wait until the day, like 6 hours before the class, and I add the email again. And I just say, final reminder or something like that. So it kind of depends on what type of workflow you're making, but essentially it's just make the content and then just add it into a line with different times, depending on when you want to send it. Okay, so Kat says, so I can upload our front of our email with this provider, our font for our email. So my understanding is they have a list of fonts. I don't know, honestly, if you can upload your own type font. They might have one that is similar, or they might actually have the one that you use. I do sometimes have to not use the exact same one because of the type, whatever the provider is, I'm spanning multiple tools. So I just find one that's kind of similar. I'm using Didot, D-I-D-O-T right now. But they have some options, the handwritten cursive ones, the archaic ones, the simple type, like old school typing ones. There's some options. So as I mentioned, they have that 30-day free trial, so you can go in and check and see. Like I said, I don't know that you can upload your own, but there are a number of choices you can look at. Okay. You might even email them and see. I don't know. If it's not an option to upload, probably not, but you can ask for sure. Okay. You are welcome. All right. So go ahead and send me a private message right now. If you're live and you want that information, I can just send it right away. After this uploads and saves as a replay, then I can go in and add the link. It's also at the bottom of our website, the buildabetterbakerynow.com. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. I love Flowdesk. Hopefully it will help you too. Yes to email if you want to help with your customer retention and you want to do less work and be able to make more sales, right? Okay. Oh, my hair was kind of wild again. Oh, wait. Okay. See y'all later. Bye.